Hey guys, welcome to the epidemic. My name is Narb, and we're back with yet another quick map design overview. Last week I asked you guys what you wanted to see in the next episode, and I got a pretty impressive response from both groups. But ultimately I decided to cover weapons first. So that means next week we'll definitely be going over verticality. Alrighty, so weapons are obviously a very important part to any type of forged map. They are also very detrimental to the way that your map flows, and the reason I did not go over this last week was because I really just want to take this series one step at a time. These episodes are supposed to be very basic in their presentation, so I'm probably not going to be able to cover absolutely everything about something all at once. This is just so that I don't overwhelm anyone too quickly. Designing a map is a very delicate process, so I just want to make sure that I can make everything as clear as I can. In the future we'll probably get into some more advanced things, but that will probably be later in Halo 5. Okay, so back to weapons. Most of every type of map in Halo has some sort of power weapon. It's an essential part of most maps, and they really can help you regulate the way that your map flows. If you missed last week's episode about flow, then please be sure to check that out. The most commonly seen power weapons in the Halo 2 sandbox include the sniper rifle, rocket launcher, shotgun, energy sword, brute shot, beam rifle, fuel rod cannon, and yes, even the sentinel beam. You could argue other weapons as well, but these are the most common that I've seen. Some are obviously much better than others and need to be treated differently, and we're going to talk about how you should do that. Oh, and also speed boost, overshield, and active camo are technically considered power weapons as well. Spawn times allow you to regulate the time frames that your weapons see action during a game. Generally, the more powerful the weapon, the longer it should take to respawn, rockets being a prime example of this. So as a rule of thumb, most power weapons should respawn from a range of 1 to 3 minutes. There really isn't any specific time frame for each weapon because the map will usually affect this number. Just try and make the more powerful weapons spawn in a little later and the less effective weapons spawn in a bit sooner. Like I said, the map will usually determine this, so there really aren't any specific times that you need to strictly follow. If you have two different power weapons on a map, you should have them respawn at different times. Chances are that both of them will be different weapons, so varying respawn times would almost just be natural. But if you don't apply that to your maps already, then you should consider doing it. The only time two weapons should respawn at the same time would be if both teams start out with the same power weapon. A good example of how this can be seen is on the pit in Halo 3. Initially, when both teams spawn, they both receive a sniper rifle in both of their towers, so it would only make sense that they would each have the same respawn time as well. Now obviously you need to actually put these weapons somewhere on your map. These areas that you place them in can be very crucial to the way that your map plays. Risk versus reward is something that you should always be thinking about. You don't really ever want to give your players absolutely everything. They should have to work for their advantages, so placing a sniper rifle in an area that has massive sight lines probably isn't a good idea. Try and place power weapons in places that aren't too overpowering, yet not too underpowering, and try to keep them somewhat far away from control points. Power weapons are usually what can help counter those, so putting them next to those areas wouldn't really be too great of an idea. Again, the idea of risk versus reward is pretty important. Just make sure you balance your placements according to that. Also, whenever you do find a suitable spot for your weapons, make sure you check the amount of spare clips that they're set on. To be on the safe side, just set most of your primary weapons to no spare clips. If you give them too much ammo, then you'll start to run into some gameplay issues. And hey, that's pretty much weapons. I know that might not seem like a whole lot, but I did give you guys a lot of information very quickly, so if you feel like you missed out on a few areas, then check the description because I'm going to have a big old list of pretty much everything that I went over in this video, and it might just be easier to look at it like that, so check that out, it might help. I'm expecting a few things to change once Halo 5 comes out, so we'll probably be revisiting this subject once it does. Remember, next week is going to be verticality. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the near future.